In our last two sessions, we've been building a toolkit. First, we learned that happiness is a conclusion, not a command. Then we learned about logical strength, the bridge that connects our facts to our feelings. But today we have to face a hard truth. A perfectly built bridge is useless if it's built over a canyon that doesn't exist. You can have the best logic in the world, but if your starting points are wrong, your conclusion will still lead you astray. Today we reach the gold standard of thinking. We are talking about soundness. This is the secret to knowing when an argument is actually worth your belief. To arrive at a reliable conclusion, we have to ask two separate questions, and I cannot stress this enough. They must be separate. First, truth. Truth is a property of individual statements. Is it actually raining? Did you actually lose your wallet? We look for a direct evidence here. And second, logical strength. This is a property of the connection between statements. If the first thing is true, does it actually support the second? When you have both true statements and a strong connection, you have a sound argument. Think of it like a recipe. You need fresh ingredients, which is truth, and a good cooking technique, which is strength. If you use rotten eggs but follow the recipe perfectly, the cake is still bad. If you have fresh eggs but burn them to a crisp, the cake is still bad. You need both to have a sound breakfast. Now, usually we want our arguments to be sound, but sometimes as learners and happiness enthusiasts, we need to explore the what-ifs. These are what we call counterfactual arguments. These are arguments where we know a premise is false, but we want to see where the logic is leading anyway. For example, if I had moved to another country 10 years ago, I would be a different person today. You didn't move. The premise is false, but the argument is still useful. It helps us explore consequences, learn from the past, or even test an idea. And there is even a special witty version of this called reductio ad absurdum, reducing an idea to the absurd. This is where you prove something is true by showing that the opposite is absolutely ridiculous. It's like saying, if my friend actually hated me, they wouldn't have spent 5 hours helping me move house last weekend. Since they clearly aren't a masochist who loves carrying heavy sofas for people they hate, the idea that they hate me is absurd. We use counterfactuals to navigate the gray areas of life without falling into emotional traps. Why does this matter for your happiness? Because your brain is a meaning-making machine. It hates uncertainty. When we feel bad, our brain frantically looks for any argument to justify that feeling. If we aren't careful, we accept unsound arguments just because they feel familiar. We accept a lie, which is false premise, or we accept a weakling, which is logical weakness. A sound argument is the only thing that provides a good reason to accept a conclusion. If you can't prove your argument is sound, you aren't entitled to the stress it's causing you. You can literally tell your brain, wait, this isn't sound. I'm not accepting this conclusion yet. As we wrap up this third chapter of our critical thinking series, I want to give you a very specific habit to start today. Never ask, is this a good argument? That's too vague. Your brain will just say yes if it's in a bad mood. Instead, ask two distinct questions. Are the premises true? Check the facts. Is the inference strong? Check the connection. Only when both are yes do you have a sound argument. Only then do you have a real reason to believe. Sound arguments expand our knowledge. They clear the fog. They are the bedrock of a rational, happy life. Stay smart, keep your logic sound, and I'll see you in the next chapter of Critical Thinking.